All right.
Live.
The Aussie Red Show, episode 14. What a horrible game. What an absolutely horrendous performance. But I know we had a quick message, Andrew and I, this morning, and Andrew didn't have much to say other than, when he says he doesn't have much to say, I'm sure he has a lot that's going on in his head. But I just
Why didn't you read out that text message you sent me, Darren?
hang on. What did I hang on? Let's have a look.
I don't know if it's appropriate.
Oh no. I think it is. Okay, look, this is probably hinging on some of the backlash that I got of a video about FSG, right?
Yeah, they told you you don't know what you're talking about.
So, which I don't care. I mean, again, it's my opinion, and like I said, and just to clarify on that, I'm not saying that like FSG haven't done great business, and they have. They're a good business unit, but okay, yes, and we can blame injuries and all that sort of jazz, but we haven't reinforced. We're one of the best clubs, and we are the best club in the world, in my opinion. All right, biasness maybe, but we act like we just not like we don't spend enough. And I know like people say, oh, you don't need to spend. I said you do. It's football these days. You need to spend money. If you're not spending money, look where we are. You can blame the injuries. Yes, there's injuries there, 100%, and that's probably affecting us probably being in the top 4 at the moment. But I certainly don't think the lack of reinforcements that we've got is like the lack of reinforcements that we have because FSG won't, spend a little bit is the reason why we're probably not going to win the league this year and maybe miss out on the Champions League. But so just a feel on that. Someone said I didn't know what I was talking about, but it's a very but it's all good to say you don't know what you're talking about and not follow it up with anything, but that's all right. I don't care what people say. I really don't. That's my opinion. I said at FSG, you asked me, would I swap owners? I'm like, yeah, I would. I'm not saying that FSG haven't done it. And yes, I haven't forgotten the Gillette days. I mean, I remember the days when the club was run by fucking moron. Excuse my language. Was run by, real bad people. But same token, and like you said, and they've been lucky to land Klopp. If we didn't have Klopp, we'd be, top 5. Who knows? We probably wouldn't have won the league or a Champions League or anything. So just to hinge on that, so what I said was because I got flack over what I said, and we lost 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, who are bottom of the table, and we couldn't break them down. Andrew said, did you watch the game? I said, yes, it was pus. Explicit word, horrible. Andrew goes, I have nothing to say. So, all right, there's nothing wrong though, Andrew. Stay positive. Trust in FSG to buy Johnny Howson from Norwich in January. I don't think he plays for Norwich anymore, but it was a joke, right? So, but yeah, that was just, people having a dig about, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. I'm like, well, that's, again, it's my opinion. And that's the beauty of the show is that, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but again, these are just my opinions and concerns. And, the proof is in the pudding this season. And, we can stay positive as much as possible, and we are. Well, don't get me wrong, we're still going to rock up every week, wear our Liverpool shirts. Have we expressed that in the past? We're going to rock up every game. We'd rock up if they were in the bottom of the freaking Conference League. They wouldn't, but it doesn't help us from being frustrated. And again, there's nothing positive you can take out of losing 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, who are bottom of the table, when we had we've strung two wins together, and the performance was, again, injuries again. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, who's in control? Like, what's going on with the conditioning of the players? Like, every week there's an injury. Thiago, an ear infection. Really? What happened? Do you know what happened to Nunes? I've got no idea.
I think it's something to do with his ankle, mate. I don't know.
He's out. Then he had Thiago
out.
He
should be available for it. But
no Diaz, no Yoda, no Nunes, no, like, okay, yeah, again. So we don't have the squad depth, and we're getting injuries, so we're in some serious trouble. And I will stay positive, but we'll have to always. But again, staying positive isn't addressing the issues. We can't bury our head in the sands and be like, "Oh, stay positive and we'll be all right." Yeah. I'll stay positive, but things need to be done. And and like I've said in the past, is FSG the owners that are going to do it? Probably, I don't think so. They're not going to go out and get
Please.
Jude Bellingham in January next year. I hope they do. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. But anyway, that's my little that's all my little tyrant, little rant, I should say,
please,
tirade. Yeah,
please clip it. What did you?
100%. Like,
what did you think of the starting with the West Ham games? We haven't done a podcast since West Ham.
Yeah, we haven't. I thought we played well against West Ham. We did. I thought Nunes had a really good game and was pretty unlucky not to get a couple of goals, really. Allison saved us with the penalty save, although I don't think the penalty taken by Bowen was very strong, but nonetheless, we still had to get down low and hard. And people talking about Van Dijk chipping at the penalty spot, maybe, but, he didn't. It's not as if he lifted it over the bar or anything, so you can't use that as an excuse. So, but long story, I'm just trying to think. West Ham game, I just from memory, look, it was a decent performance. I mean, because I've still got Nottingham Forest still fresh in my head. It's probably clouding my memories of that game now.
West Ham was pretty mediocre, man. I mean, it was a massive performance compared to what we saw at City, which was an extremely good performance. And I always say Liverpool have got massive complacency and composure issues during the game, concentration and complacency issues, right? Where if we feel like we're going to just trample over and we just have this horrible, just not with the same intensity and urgency and concentration that we normally have. How can you go from Manchester City to drop down to West Ham, to drop even further down to Nottingham Forest in the space of 6 days? And normally people say, because too many games. Well, first of all, I think everyone's playing a lot of games, right?
Yeah.
And second thing is Liverpool, we've done traditionally well when we played 3 or 4 days after, when we've got that, because we play with such high intensity.
Yeah.
So, that for me was I don't know why Klopp's whinging about that, because it's we seem to always pull off. You have a look at when we won the Premier League.
Yeah.
When we won the Premier League, we had that big break during COVID, and our performance just shot right down to the ground.
It did, didn't it? We come back and we lost. Yeah, I think
so much momentum, so much the intensity to drop, because it takes so much up here to build that intensity and to play consistently every week, and then get to have. So normally that's been our advantage when we play every 3 or 4 days. I think that's the perfect balance. I just think there's other bigger problems going on, but that, for me, I just thought West Ham was lack of composure, lack of concentration. I know we got the win, but honestly, it was a lucky win. I mean, we could have easily have drawn that game. That game.
Yeah, we could have.
We took so much of that into Nottingham Forest.
Yeah,
but
and I really thought, I really thought, at the beginning in that first half, we to be fair, we missed Trent down that right flank. I just felt like, obviously Milner wasn't going forward because he just, although he's really fit, he doesn't have that kind of attacking prowess like Trent does. But I really thought we missed Trent in that first half.
Yeah,
that was my opinion. I thought, look, we had a couple of chances. I don't know what Van Dijk was thinking. I know he was probably trying to square the ball to Bobby, but I just thought, he was onside and everything. Should have just banged straight in. But again, I don't know.
So we never talk about Nottingham Forest. Yeah.
Sorry, I apologise. It's Nottingham Forest now, right? Sorry. But I just really, like I said from the beginning of the season, and every team that plays us, they look better on the counter attack than we do. They catch us always. They soak us up. It's like we pass the ball. Yes, we have 70% possession, but they catch us on the counter all the time, and we're always caught out. And and we were lucky not to. To be fair, Nottingham Forest had a couple of chances in that first half. With thank God it was Lingard and no one else that had that shot.
We beat Manchester City. Yeah, definitely. We beat Manchester City with less possession, less chances on goal. That's, I guess, probably had more intensity, obviously, in City.
Yeah,
but we had more of the ball in Nottingham Forest.
I know, it's like it's like we don't know how to break teams down anymore. They put they got every player behind the ball. And the only time we really seem to get a decent attack mount, again, is on the counter when we sack up the pressure. But I don't know. Like,
Do you think Thiago was missing this game?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't
Sort of.
really think. I mean, there were so many sloppy passes from Gomez, and even Van Dijk, and I mean, Curtis Jones looked a little bit uncomfortable out there. If I'm being honest, I love Curtis Jones because he's a Liverpool junior, and I really want him to go really good. But I know there's times he did really well, like he came, but I just felt like I don't know,
Yeah.
just
Harvey Elliott had a blinder.
Harvey, yeah, again, and then he was probably getting
Mm.
frustrated because he on that right side he wasn't getting enough ball in that first half. Like he was, there's multiple times where he was screaming for the ball because you could tell he just wants to grab the ball and create something with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just thought there was lots of sloppy passing, especially from the back line. Like Gomez, he can be so inconsistent sometimes. Gomez, like he'll have a blinder one game, and then the next game he's just looks like they got him off the pitch from the pub league or something. I don't know. He just I thought his passing, his delivery was shocking. Don't know what Van Dijk was thinking with that. You should have just buried it. In front of goal.
But here's the thing, right? We had a lot of injuries that game. We didn't have Jota, Nunes, Diaz, Thiago. But tell me this, right? When we went 1-0 down, and I wasn't happy because we didn't do a podcast. That's why I like doing podcasts right after games, even if we do like this. Because what I say that week, I've got more of a reason to back up what I say the next week, rather than being like the fishermen. They got the big fish, but no one saw it, right?
Yeah, getcha.
So I thought the substitutions Klopp made against West Ham were rubbish, and I was meant to text you about it, but I forgot. So I thought I didn't like the substitutions that he made, and I certainly did not like the substitutions he made against Nottingham Forest. We're 1-0 down, and look, I know we've got tiredness, and I think there's a few issues, but I would rather have a tired Firmino, not running back as much, who scored more goals already this season than he did all of last season. Why, when you're 1-0 down, would you take off Firmino, which we didn't really – Cavalier didn't have a good game, fair enough. Yeah. But why would you take off a goal threat to put on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? Which this is not – when you're 1-0 down, he just packed on the midfield. He brought on Henderson, kept on Fabinho, which I thought Fabinho had another horrible game.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's another one that he just
another horrible game, man. Like it was. So you kept on Fabinho, you brought on Henderson, you took off Curtis. Was it Curtis Jones that he took off?
Curtis Jones, yeah.
I actually thought he was playing better than Fabinho, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably maybe being a bit critical of him. I just thought.
I thought he played okay in punches.
Yeah, he did, and like I said, I love Curtis Jones, and I really want him to excel, and I think he will. But again, like you with Thiago not in there, and I guess would you put Hendo in there with Fabinho? But I don't know. He's probably he's trying to manage. He's trying to manage the injuries, and he's trying to manage the players at the moment. With obviously Champions League coming up during the week as well.
Yeah, maybe he had to take off Curtis for Fabinho, or I'm sorry, he had to leave on Fabinho and take off Curtis for Henderson. But why put on Alex for Bobby, man? Like that. I mean, Ajax, we could probably arguably get a draw and still be okay.
Yeah.
Now we've got a draw in the Premier League. Even if we've got a draw in the Premier League, I mean, it's still going to be very hard.
They're still again. They've been. I mean, they've been.
But I don't understand, why would you take off a goal for it when you're 1-0?
Excuse me. Well, and not only that, Nottingham Forest have the worst defensive record in the Premier League, and we couldn't break them down.
And the last 15 minutes, they concede most of their goals. So why would you take off a goal for it in the last 15 minutes to bring on a player that hasn't even played since February? I mean, I don't know, man. I like the Ox, but that was not a game to introduce him into. We had to there was I get it. There was no one on the bench. There was no one there. Like, if you saw the bench before, who's you going to bring on? We're just so stretched for options now because but I would have preferred to have kept on a tired Firmino than bringing on Ox and just tell Firmino we're going to go 4-4-2. We're not going to. He doesn't have to come back in too far to do extra running. Just keep him near the goals. Keep Salah near the goals, and we'll just try to throw the kitchen sink at it. But no, he takes off Bob. I mean, I think Bobby scored more goals this year in open play than Salah has.
Yeah, he has. He's been our leading goal scorer, and he scored more goals already this season than he did the previous season.
Exactly.
So
So why
he's
take?
been our most informed striker at the moment, to be fair.
I mean, it made no sense. I mean, if we were 1-0 up, that's the sort of change you would do 1-0 up. When you take off a striker to pack the midfield. Why would you take off a striker to pack up the midfield when we need that goal? And who'd you have on the field that could going to score goals? Henderson. He brought on Henderson. He's not going to score any goals. I mean, and then he takes off. I mean, I think he had to sort of. Was it Cavalier that came off?
I can't remember. Yeah, I
But
think
but
I
he
was
didn't have
by
a.
this point. I was just yeah. I was just
It felt. It
mm,
felt like the Stoke in 2010, where we had all the possession, shoot all the balls in the goal. They get one cheat. Like, I mean, the goal they scored. It had to be a form of Liverpool playthrough, right? But
yeah.
like, it's just a crappy goal to concede, man. Like, there's goals you can see where you kind of get ripped up and you kind of appreciate the team
Correct.
almost
Yeah.
for scoring because they ripped you up, right? They've
Mm.
just if Kevin De Bruyne like popped it from the 18-yard, like you could just turn around and say that's just we should have closed him down. But a goal like that, I mean, that was just I don't know.
Yeah, it was sloppy
It's just
tops to
it,
he hits the post, rebounds out, and bangs straight in. It's just
it summed up our season. That goal summed up our season. The whole game summed up our season so far, man. It's just
yeah,
been
100%. Yeah,
moments where it's been okay, but the vast majority of it's been rubbish.
yeah.
I mean, we
It's
had
been
Darren, they had more shots on goal than we did. Nottingham Forest
I
on
know.
goal, more shots than we did.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I've seen the stats. I was looking at the stats after the game, and I was I mean,
We
we
had more
had possession.
possession.
We had 70% possession and did nothing with it.
Did nothing with it. And City, we had less possession. We won. So and one thing Klopp did that I kind of like now is he's dropping the defense a little bit deeper now. But
You
again, I know that
you have to for a read. Like I think you have to because I think maybe because if you're playing a higher line of defense, then we're just running into roadblocks. If you soak up the pressure a little bit, then you have more room to catch people and catch them on the counter, which is what I think we've been. But
and why start? Why start? Sorry, Darren. Sorry, I shouldn't cut you off.
no,
Why
it's
start?
fine.
Why start Milner, man? Like that's a game when you know you're going to have possession. I understand why you want to start Milner against Manchester City because there's a good chance that we're not going to have the majority of the possession. And in fact, we didn't. With a player like Trent, he thrives on having the majority of the possession.
Correct, and that's what I thought. That first half, we missed him big time because there were so many opportunities down that right flank. I thought Trent would have, nailed. There would have been.
Andy Robbo didn't have a good game.
Nah.
Vinyo didn't have a good game. Gomez had a poor game.
Yeah.
Salah had a poor game. I mean, there was no one else. It was really no one really, probably, that was going to score in that game at all. It was just a horrible game.
Just
and not much. As far as Gump would say, mate, there's not much more I can say about
that. Nottingham Forest Gump.
I mean, it's just. I don't know. I mean, why Trent didn't start? Why he took off Firmino? I don't know. Sometimes Klopp does things where I just don't understand it. Like, I mean, it's fair enough but unless he's injured, why take him off and put on Ox? A guy that's he's just not going to score, man. Like, he's not going to score.
Yeah, just, I don't know. Just, frustrating game. And, yeah. Not much else I can really say about it at this point in time, but I think that's just we're just going on about the same stuff that we apparently don't know what we're talking about. So
someone's a bit salty, huh?
I'm just stirring, man. I just take the piss. That's all.
Look, I mean, we don't know what we're talking about, and the thing is, on that topic, I mean, I was watching a clip today with Neville and Keane on Sky Sports. And Keane was like, I don't care what any of the fans. I think when I'm talking about the Ronaldo, and I don't talk about things that I don't know what I'm talking about in terms of other teams because I don't watch other teams. But that statement by Roy Keane really shit me. And I like Roy Keane, right? Punditry, right? But like, he's like, it's just that arrogant, like, dismissal of whatever the fans say. Look, man, at the end of the day, because I think Gary Neville was saying that, like, a lot of the fans, Man United fans, wouldn't be having Ronaldo in the team. And some dummies, he checked the dummy spell or something, Ronaldo, and that was what they were talking about. And Roy Keane, I don't care what any of the fans say. I'm like, mate, one thing I'll say about managers that like, if you look at Gerrard being sacked, if you look at, like, sometimes it's like top managers are not always the best players. People that can observe the game are
Mhm.
not normally the best players, right? And I'm like, you get people like us. We watch Liverpool for over 20 years. You get people that are there in England that they sacrifice a lot of their salaries to go and watch the games just to like throw out this BS statement. I was a little bit offended by it in the sense that I'm like, okay, just this. I know you played the game, but you can't just be like throw it. You don't care like and dismiss what fans have to say. I just found that incredibly arrogant. And one thing I'll say about Mourinho, he put people on the map that are just really students of the game, and they're not necessarily the best players. Okay, we play the game. Well, you play the game higher level than I did, but we play the game at some level. I can appreciate the difficulty it takes to play a football game, but that doesn't mean just because they lack the ability to play football at their level doesn't mean that we can't read the game and offer something. And I just thought
100%.
that's King said what every sort of pundit next footballer thinks about fans anyway. Generally, right? They just don't care. I mean, even if you listen to other pundits on Talk Sport, like I watch a lot of these pundits. They just got this. They don't like fan channels. They just kind of got their little world that they live in. I just find it completely bizarre because it's the fans that make football. And so, if anyone deserves to have a say and an opinion that should be at some level respected, whether you agree with it or not, it's the fans that make football and not the other way around.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's the fans that keep ticking it over, and like I said, I agree.
Even if we don't know what we're talking about, we just still have an opinion. And the fact that you and I have watched this team for the last 20 years, Darren, without a platform to speak, I mean, we deserve to have that. So
yeah,
I don't know why I brought that up, but it really pissed off when he said it. And I'm like, yeah. So,
yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, no, I know Roy Keane certainly has moments where he says a lot of outlandish and. He's very arrogant kind of guy. I mean, I like some of the stuff he says, to be honest. I mean, I know he's a mank and all that, but I some of the stuff he says is good. But yeah, I mean, but that's just Roy Keane. He'll just say what he feels like, and he don't give a shit who he offends in the process.
No, look, I'm not like my feelings.
I know,
like
I know you're
that
not.
type
Yeah,
of
I
offended.
know that. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I get what you mean.
I was offended on behalf of all fans because, like, look, even those clowns that tell us that we don't know what we're talking about. The fact is, then, if you think that we don't know what we're talking about, how about you do a response video, and link and send us the link and tell us where you're wrong, where we're wrong, or you're wrong, or I'm wrong, and like that'll be better than just saying that we don't know what we're talking about.
Well, that's what I said. I said, look, it's, you don't know what you're talking about, and no follow up. Okay, so it's always I could do that on everything that I wanted to just write that, and Anyway,
yeah, we can just troll it, right?
Yeah, it's but anyway, look again, and people are entitled to their opinion on this show too. Like, so we encourage people to, if they don't, but again, come in for a discussion too. We're not gonna. I mean, I'd like to see your opinion, like people's opinions on that too. And I think you said in the video, what are your guys' thoughts? I know it's probably divided in the middle with the whole FSG chat. Like, you probably got people that remember the day. Yeah, just because we had worse days before doesn't mean we can rest on our laurels with what we've got.
Well, the fact that, like I said, I've said this many times. Like, I'm going to look back in this period of our golden period that you and I have been waiting for I don't know, 18 years. You and I have been waiting, right? I mean, probably longer, right? So we've been waiting for this period because we weren't really around, or we weren't really watching football when Liverpool was really dominant. The 70s.
Nah, we were
and the
too.
late 60s, right?
Well, that's it. I mean, I think.
I mean, we weren't born yet, right? But the
before
80s,
before the last premiership we won, I think it was 89,
1990,
90 season, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was 2 years old.
Exactly.
Like,
so you and I, exactly. So Liverpool's not been the easiest club to follow when we were in school, right? Like you said, there wasn't many people wearing Liverpool shirts, right? So they all come out of the woodwork recently. But we've been waiting for this golden period, and we've got it, right?
Yeah.
And our opinions, even when I don't disagree, even when you disagree with me or whatever, it's all about trying to preserve. I'm going to look back at this time thinking that the fact that Klopp didn't get fully funded, despite the fact that we won the Premier League, we won the Champions League, we won the FA Cup, we won the League Cup, that's not because of FSG. That's because of Klopp, Michael Edwards, and the technical staff. It has nothing to do with FSG, right? The only thing FSG has done, okay, did they really hire Klopp thinking he was going to pull that around? Really? They probably would like to have hoped that was going to happen, of course, but no one could have seen the instant improvement like Liverpool. I mean, I remember watching the first game and seeing the difference with Jurgen Klopp. That doesn't happen. Well, that got to do with anybody. All I've ever seen is that when we didn't double down when we could have, when we didn't sign the players, when the midfield now is being tied because we didn't reinforce it. The fact is, and I understand that some teams don't have ceilings, but we should be able to strengthen our team 1 or 2 players every year to freshen up the squad to make sure we've always sold players. I mean, how can that be a sustainable model? How can that just keep going? We sold Coutinho for $142 million, which I think is the best piece of business in the last 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
To buy Van Dijk, to buy Alisson, we that was like a game changer for us too, right? But we can't just keep. I mean, who are we going to sell now, right? Like we just can't keep selling. So where is it the substantial investment coming from the outside? Is it okay? We're going to keep the current squad. We're not selling anybody. And we're going to add 2 or 3 superstars to the football team. We just don't do that. And people talk about Haaland cost only 56 million. Okay, well we don't need. First of all, Haaland would be too expensive because if you look at the wages that City are paying him, they can just go out and buy whoever they need to. Right? We've got an aging midfield. The fact that we didn't go out and buy someone is my point because. How could you see it at midfield, the aging squad, and just think to yourself, we'll be fine? And Klopp just mirrored what he's hearing in the back room. He's not. I mean, if someone said, "Hey, Klopp, here's Jude Bellingham," he'd be like, "No, don't worry about it."
Yeah.
I mean, really, right?
No.
I'm not even saying Jude Bellingham is the, but just go and do what we've always done. Go and get them out of them. Where are they then? I just don't understand how. I don't know. For me, I'm going to look back thinking that. Especially FSG, didn't double down when they saw. Again, maybe they got burnt when they saw signing players like Andy Carroll at the time for $35 million, and it was a big flop. And so we didn't want to go out and just sign these big players that we've done in the past and didn't really work out. But when you've seen Klopp pull in the Premier League, the Champions League, the World Club Championship, the FA Cup, the League Cup, we won every tournament and cup that's worthy of winning, then why wouldn't you really go, you know what, let's go and break the bank. Let's go out and get 1 or 2 plays, especially in the key areas where we need it.
Yeah,
for me,
he's done his time to
he's
at
proved
least
it, right?
Yeah, to be like, hey, come on, give me what we need to, and that's the thing.
Do you think Pep Guardiola would put up with that? No way, man. No
and
way.
And the thing is that, like, again, hinging on do you remember the George and Gillette days? Yeah, I do. And if we're not careful, not saying that if we're not careful, like we've said at the beginning of this podcast, 10, 12 episodes ago, we fear going into a rebuilding phase again, right?
Yeah.
And that's rapidly starting to happen. So, yeah, I do remember the George Gillette days. And the reason why I'm being so vocal about it is I feel like we're not quite there. But if we don't pull the hat out, if something doesn't happen this season or the transfer window in January, I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but we could be starting to head back towards those days. Especially Klopp, when's Klopp's contract run out again? I know he signed an extension, but I think after that, whether or not he stays on?
I think it's 2026. I think it is.
Oh, is it? Okay, so he's still got four more years to go.
He's probably got like probably another 2 or 3 seasons, and he probably will go.
Yeah. So, yeah, and once he goes, and he hasn't got the money to spend on the squad, I think we're going to. If things don't change in that respect, in terms of investing and reinvesting in the squad and getting players again, I think we will have those dark days come back again. And like you said, we were really lucky with. You said we were lucky we got Klopp because, like you said, I don't think they knew that Klopp was going to do the success that he has. They could say that now because they can, but that's.
I mean, the fact that you saw Klopp like dominate and didn't really truly go, okay, you can spend whatever we sell. I mean, that's not going to work forever, man.
No.
The fact that the success that we had has got nothing to do. I mean, I was going to say, with, I was going to say something about FSG oh yeah. I mean, when someone says to you they stick up for FSG does, I mean, this is what you got to clip, man. I mean, have these fans must got the memory of a goldfish, right? Like I know I've asked people to lend their opinion, but it doesn't stop me from being able to criticize it either. Don't people forget this is the same guy that owed us an apology because he wanted to put us in the European Super League?
Yeah.
But he lied. But let's all defend FSG because FSG is so good. They brought the golden years. What a load of crap. Like they care. These games give a crap about Liverpool Football Club. Mate, look, it's a business. I get it. And that's totally fine. But when people call you out and call me, especially you, like recently, and me, because I've criticised them as well. I mean, these people don't forget. This guy nearly signed, he did sign to ruin football as we know it. But let's all defend him. Yeah, let's defend FSG. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, European Super League. Do you know what that means? That means my viewership of Liverpool would have just gone down the girdler. Why would I care about a competition where winning doesn't mean anything? What's where you take out? It's just commercially driven. And this is a guy that you want me to defend.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly right. And obviously, other clubs are involved in it. All the richest clubs in Europe and Britain at the time.
Honestly, man. Well, I mean, I don't know what these fans do. They just drink the Kool-Aid, man. Like they're just. Well, yeah, I mean, they owed us an apology, and I'm like, you think he's not going to go back? The only reason why they didn't go into the Super League is the backlash from the government, from the fans, from the FA body. Like pretty much all the football and pretty much like governments were against our clubs. The ones that signed up.
It was the only reason it didn't go through was the pressure of the backlash.
100%, man. And you know what?
They were ready to go, and they were ready and then the backlash of the fans was way too big.
Yeah.
They were willing to sign away everything just to fucking, excuse my language, just to make some extra bank, you know.
And we're gonna defend this guy. I mean, really.
And that's the thing, all right?
It's ludicrous. Okay,
yes, they run a good business model. But is it a good business model for football? I mean, obviously they're successful with sports clubs, but they're successful with
but football's not Boston Red Sox, man.
Correct, man. And they're not, again, and you're not going to get anywhere in this day and age in football. We're not going to win. We're not going to be up there unless they reinvest. I'm like a broken record. I've said it 100 times. And that's the thing give Klopp some money to buy. Like we don't want to be a Madrid, and that's another thing. I don't want to be buying every Tom, Dick, and Harry because we can afford it. I just want the right money spent. I just a bit of money spent, not just the money that we generate from transfers. Legitimate reinvestment. That's all. If they did that, then I'd be awesome with it. But anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about, but these guys that have forgotten the biggest blunder that this guy could have made for the football club. Yeah, this guy is really, really caring about and he cares really everything that you have to say, fans, and he cares the fact that you guys love FSG. Yeah, look, George, as bad as the Gillettes were, they didn't try to sign us up to the European Super League. Right, and they were honestly, Des, you and I would have done a better job managing the football club in our teenage years.
They were horrible, right? They were just trying just sapping the money dry.
The fact is, I don't feel. I mean, could you imagine if Klopp had Pep's money?
Oh yeah,
I mean, Klopp. There's no way when someone says to me, Klopp. This is probably a different video because we're gonna go right. Pep versus
We'll do Klopp. A video. I reckon we should do a Pep versus Klopp video.
I mean, all I've got to say is Klopp could do what Pep was doing over at Man City, but Pep couldn't do what Klopp was doing over at Liverpool when he took it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it.
And there's I know we'll talk about another video, but any club that Pep's ever walked into, he's just had the money cheat on Football Manager the whole time. So
exactly, and not just the money cheat, but one of the big stuff. I mean, He was at Barcelona, and then he was at Bayern Munich. Where else did he be? Like Bayern Munich is the biggest club, and actually, Klopp did win titles over him,
with
right?
Dortmund. Yeah,
With Dortmund in the Bundesliga, with a team with such tight funds. That's why Klopp is putting up with this nonsense, because from Mainz to Dortmund to Liverpool, he's got this. That's all he sort of really understands, right? But there's no way.
knows. He knows what to. He knows how to work within a budget, and he knows how to make it work. You know,
And that's going to get harder and harder and harder every year, man.
and it's going to get harder and harder
Like you
as
said,
the
the
years
start.
roll on.
Yep. It's just football needs real substantial investment, and there's no way around it, man.
Yep, that's it.
All right.
Anyway, all right, guys, that's it. That's all we had time for today. But yeah. Anyway, nonetheless, disappointing result. But on to the next game. It's behind us now. We've said our piece. Yeah. Let's hope we
2-1. 2-1 to Liverpool gets hard.
Yeah. I'm gonna. What's my score prediction? I can't go the same as you. I'm gonna go 1 or draw.
1 or draw.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for draw away. I mean, it's sort of like I just we'll see. Yeah,
no faith, brother. Where's your faith, man? Where's
your positivity? You're not positive.
You're not.
Look. Yeah,
you're just whinging and whining, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Just
you don't love the club. You don't, because you don't like FSG. You don't like the club.
You don't like club. We're not real Liverpool fans because we're not getting behind. We're not positive enough.
Hey, Darren, you know what I'll say about the real Liverpool fans, man, over here in this side of the world? We have to get up at 2 a.m. I mean, before Optus, right? Before we could actually watch the replays. You used to get up. We always used to get up. Your dad, I remember watching games.
Yeah, well, always. We've been getting up 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning for our whole lives down in here in Australia to watch the game, right? And I'm going to be honest. Like, I know there's hundreds of millions of Liverpool supporters that would probably do the same thing here. But there's also, I've had conversations with Liverpool fans in England that be like, "Oh, I wouldn't get up for a game."
100%, man.
So I'm just Anyway, that's out.
But we don't know what we're doing. All right.
All right, guys. Have a good week. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I'll see you later.